Hey there, my name is Nick, and let's talk about deconstructing large games, game theory proofs, and axioms. What makes up game theory games? And how can some of that be applied to real-life situations, other games, or anything that has to do with strategic planning? Let's pick up the game theory game from our previous video and look through the different elements. Here we can see there are a set number of turns, a well-defined set of actions per turn, and a well-defined reward at the end of the game. Let's use a solve game to show the difference. Connect 4, the strategic basic column filling game, doesn't have the same attributes. There are multiple actions that can be played. There are an indefinite number of turns, and at the end of the game, you either win or lose. If we think about the previous game, or any classical game theory game, we can divide it into parts. Then there's the ending, and the incentives from that pass to the decision making, which decides how the game is played. If you think about it, we are playing multiple sub-games, where the ending game incentive is what defines how we play the games that come before. Think about it this way. You want to play the maximum of Q times A, where Q is the chance of winning, and A is the win or loss. We don't know what will happen at the beginning of the game, so Q is undefined. We know, however, that A is 1 or 0, a win or a loss, and we are awarded per the rules of the game. If any action gets us a 100% win rate, we play it. If we don't have that option, then we play the action that maximizes our win opportunities and minimizes our lose opportunities. Our strategy is to maximize the ways we can win from the beginning of the game till the end. Connect 4 says this: if there are 4 chips of the same color in a consecutive horizontal, vertical, or diagonal line, the player who owns that chip color wins the game. So we know that if we play the 4th chip of our color in one of these formats, we win. A is 1, Q is 100%, which is the maximum that Q times A can get. We choose any of these and we win the game. But how do we get there? What is the criteria before 4 in a row for the game? What game mechanisms let you get there? Let's look at these 3 examples for horizontal, vertical, and diagonal. If our opponent doesn't spend the time blocking them, then we win. But obviously they wouldn't. Why? Because then their action would get them 100% times 0, or the minimum Q times A possible in this case. So they would place to block. Wait a second. The column gets blocked for sure, but the horizontal connection does not. The other side is playable. We win and our opponent loses, so we need to go a step back. There are now 2 pieces. The opponent cannot let us have 3 horizontal without blocking a side. Thus, they block one side, and our QA max for this situation drops below 100%. Horizontal is settled. That's pretty interesting, right? What defines this setup? If we have 2 pieces that are next to each other, that are played by our opponent, and either side is empty, we must play on one of the 2 sides. Otherwise, our opponent plays on the other side, and then they have their proof finished. If they have 3 with 2 open ends, whichever end we block leads to a victory by them. So, if we go one step forward, we know that 4 in a row is the axiom, which is defined by the rules. Therefore, we can say that this is a proof, or if this is enacted, then we will either win or lose the game. when we have two pieces next to each other and then drop a color of the opposite color on one of the two sides, then the proof is no longer in place, and Q times A is no longer 100%. Let's set that aside for now. What about diagonal? Here's an interesting question. What is this piece that our opponent would play on top of to block us? If it's their piece, we play the axiom and then we win. If it's ours, we aren't guaranteeing a win. Wouldn't it be best if we allow our opponent to play on it? Seems like we have another proof. If we allow our opponent to play on that space right below the last piece we need for the diagonal, then we enact the axiom and we win, which is favorable for us. Therefore, we prevent the opponent from doing something, and in turn, increase our chances of winning. I have one of the most important questions I'll ever ask on this channel. Can I play these strategies to win? Can I put all of these proofs and axioms to the test? Let's find out. So I've added a trimmed video of me playing 4 in a line, which is definitely not Connect 4 by Hasbro. I will be going through these strategies. I have to say that I've played maybe a few dozen games of Connect 4 in my life, and I never looked up the strategy to play the game. I'm only using what I've developed now. So, let's see the action. Let's play this game called 4 in a line, which is probably legally distinctly different from Connect 4 by Hasbro. The first move I'm going to do is going to try to set up the horizontal proof. I can't get any vertical distance yet, so I'm going to try here. They played on top, trying to get diagonal that allows them to get verticality. I'm going to try to continue to enact my horizontal proof. They've gotten to blocking my horizontal movement, which means that it's no longer 100%. So unless my opponent does not play optimally, then there is less reason than to set up another one, potentially. But I want to see if I can set up another proof. So I'm going to play diagonally. The opponent has played on the other side. Let's try to keep aware of what proofs are available or not, and continue to play while maximizing our Q times A. We want to start setting up this right side, and blue wants to set up the left side, because we have diagonals in those directions. I want to set up this column right here, because it will give me more access to another diagonal. If I play on the right side, this middle block can be filled up. If I place on this side, this middle block can also be filled up. If I play here, I have the choice of either side. Seems like they're trying to block me. I'll try to continue this diagonal movement. Interesting, they blocked another diagonal, which is probably a good move by them. I'll build my 3 in the diagonal here. They're building their own diagonal. If I play on the right, they can continue on the left. So I'm going to continue on the left. They block this because this is the vertical proof. Let's see what else I can do. I can't build on this side to do anything. I can't build on the right side to make any proofs either. So I'm going to try here to try and set up a proof. I've efficiently blocked them on this side, but now they're trying to set up a vertical proof on the right side. if I attempt to cut this short, I'm not increasing their win rate. I believe so. So I'm going to play here. They're starting to build up on the top. I cannot block either side of this, but it isn't setting up a proof yet. If both sides were available, then I'd have to be worried about the proof. Let's see what I can do now. Left side up is something that I would like to do. Let's set up this. No, that diagonal. This diagonal does work because it connects here on this side. They played on the left side here, which is interesting, but doesn't seem to be threatening me at the moment, or so I believe. Let's see what else we can do. If we play here, then we can deny this spot from being played. Am I missing any proofs? This side here is also beneficial for them if they played on it. So that's good. Yes. I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting all of this correct. Let's try here. They played on top. Interesting. Not sure what to do from this point on. I could try starting to build a vertical proof. That would be interesting. I want them to play here, so I shouldn't play there. I can play this in case they block my other side. Hopefully that works. They're setting up another proof here, but I want them to play on top so that I can play the piece above. Are there any proofs that I'm missing? This one is actually really terrifying. Not only do I not want to play in this space, but I can't. It'll give them a complete win. This side here does benefit from being played. Not much more than already, since the proof is already set up. This is interesting. I think I want to move here. Let's try it out. Am I missing any proofs at the moment? I'm not. They play here, which is good for me because it blocks their continuation. And also gives me a second reason to go for this column. They played there. I want to block this so that their row here isn't a win. If I play on this side, it does not benefit me. I think I'll play here. There is no reason to play in the top right column anymore unless I need to waste a move. What happens if I play on this side? I don't see any at the moment. They played there because they can't play here. Interesting. I play here, they play there, and I succeed. Good game. There you go. This is how I would play Connect 4 with the strategies that I have developed. You may have seen that I made some mistakes towards the end of the video. However, I did end up winning, so I count that as a deserved victory and partial proof that all of these strategies work. How would you play some subgames in the games that you enjoy? What games do you have where there are distinct subgames that you can play that are different from each other? And how would you work out the proofs to all of these? Thanks for watching. In my next videos, I'll be applying subgames to some of the games I enjoy, some new ones that I'll be learning, and also to some real-life situations. Thanks for watching, and please tell me how you plan on using all of these tips going forward. This is the exciting